Genesys Championship, and I mean, it is one of those scenarios that you really want to see, meaning that our hobby has been upgraded and has a new aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
With the introduction of Genesys, a lot of players are choosing to adapt to this strategy in order to try and find another way to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, it's great, especially because, as you mentioned, I really feel like this is one of a kind event, I would say, especially because the finalists get to travel and accommodations to Jump Fiesta in Japan, and it's great, especially because they're going to be having also the opportunity to get complete sets of different booster packs, and on top of that, I also really feel like it's special just because. I also feel like the format is going to be changed thanks to Chaos Origin, which has recently been released. And I mean, already, as you mentioned, we have already 2 players playing new cards, right?
Yeah, and it is the latest sets brought so much nostalgia back to the table, right? Bringing those amazing cards from our childhood with new effects, and now we can experience cards like Sacred Beast. I mean, personally, I really loved Uriah. I don't know if you have a personal choice from the Sacred Beast.
Well, the Sacred Beast in general, I remember from my childhood, you know, playing with the OG, you know, Hamon, Raviel and stuff. It's great to see them. I'm honestly passionate about dragons, I would say. So I would pick Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, for sure.
Reminds us like...
Yeah, you know, it has these vibes, you know, of reminiscing, you know, the past. But as you mentioned, I really feel like it's always been great to see Genesys on action. And this weekend, for you watching at home, we will be playing 8 rounds of Swiss today. And then on Sunday, we will be having other 4 rounds of Swiss, so a total of 12 rounds, followed by Top Cut. So it's going to be a very, very tough event for our duelists, especially because, as mentioned, our finalists are going to Japan for the Jump Festa. So it's very nice to see you know, these prizes and you know, complete sets of booster packs from previous sets. But also, there's a lot of variety in Genesys. That's what I really like, you know.
I mean, that's the point at the end of the day, right? With the point system, oh, nice one. And it is one of those scenarios that you can bring any strategy and work. Just you need to adapt to the point system, to adapt because it is updating month by month, and it provides so many choices to a player and
Yeah.
to a pilot.
And here essentially he's starting things off with what can be considered the combo with the Thunderclap. And in general here also with the field spell, it's a lot of it's so much easier. So the Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast, and now you can see that Mike is explaining his opponent's effect. So up to thrice per turn during your main phase, you can send 3 other cards of the same type from your hand or face up to the field to the graveyard. Then you can special summon 1 Sacred Beast monster from hand, deck, or graveyard. And if you do, essentially, that is unaffected by your opponent's activated spell and trapped effect. The deck in general is incredibly powerful, and I think it's one of the main reasons why, along with Blitzclique, could be one of the best decks for this event.
Another choice would probably also be potential Dual Tune, as we have experienced from the advanced, meaning that you have such a good access to the synchro. However, due to the latest point update, I believe that some changes and to the latest set may happen, and I really want to see how the latest set and the point system will affect the current meta state of Genesys.
Yeah, because we saw in the past, for example, the Red Dragon Archfiend deck was the most popular one. You know, it was incredibly powerful. A lot of different combos, you know, a synchro-based deck. Incredible, to be fair. But in general, I'm a fan of Blitzclique. You know, the deck seems to be working very well, especially going second, you know. Special summoning monsters from your hand and then getting to destroy cards from your opponent's field.
What more to ask, right?
Yeah, I know, exactly. You know, it's very niche interruptions that you may have. But also the way, yeah, exactly, yeah, it cannot use the effect of special summon EMZ because there's no extra monster zone in Genesis. Exactly, correct. That's that's the catch from our judges here that they're working at the table. Thank you for that. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting for sure this day of action. But again, it will be very interesting to see how the meta game is going to be changing compared to the past.
To be fair, can I say how much I love the Angelechy strategy?
You like it?
Yeah, because it showcases another aspect of the game, and it is a very unique way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really love the fact that it kinda reminds of chess, meaning we have all these unique effects, and I really love how those cards will interact into the current meta state, both in advanced and in the Genesis format, right?
Yeah. I mean, in general, as mentioned, there's well, Chaos Origin really giving a lot of additions to the current meta game, not only in Genesis but also to the advanced format. And to mention that this weekend we will be having for the first time 2 streams on the same YouTube channel. So essentially we will be having the Genesis Championship, and then we will also be streaming the playoffs later on for the advanced format. So here there was, as you previously saw, we got a little bit of delay at the start of the match. That's why here our judges are rewinding just a little bit to understand what happened and how the combo had been executed from Lutz. Yeah. Yeah, I think here they're just rewinding things up a little bit and to make it clear. But, you know, anyways, talking about the deck, of course, we saw Mike starting things with Martyr of the Sacred Beast. Let's just talk a little bit about the deck, which, you know, if you're not maybe super familiar with it, if the card is Armor of Special Summon, you can especially place 1 Sacred Beast field spell or 1 Sacred Beast continuous spell trap card from deck face up onto your field. And then also, if you have a Sacred Beam monster, you can special summon 2 Martyr from your hand deck or graveyard. So you have very easy access to your combo.
Yeah, it is one of those one-card combos that you really want to start with. And I think that Mike here, nice name, he's in very advantageous place. So I believe that we are in Mike's turn right now,
yeah.
And we will activate the effect of Fallen Paradise with the Sacred Beast, that it gives the effect to send 3 cards of the same type, for example monsters as we just experienced, in order to special summon 1 Sacred Beast monster from hand, deck, graveyard or banishment. And also an extra effect on that, the monster that is special summon, it is unaffected by opponent's activated spell trap effects.
And that is great because now it's going to perform an XYZ summon, and not only we see it in the TCG Advanced format, but also in Genesis, the Varudras. Great card, to be fair.
And only with 20 points, I mean...
Yeah, only with 20 points. So it's that is great, because at the end of the day, if you're going to count the amount of points that you can build this deck with, it's just maybe the hand traps, which can cost you, you know, a little bit of points, but all of the remaining, you know, Sacred Beasts cost 0 essentially. You know, there's also only the Summoner of the Sacred Beast that has 5 points, so that is pretty good. And then in the extra deck, you essentially have the Varudras.
You have the Martyr at 2 points
Yeah.
each. But I'm pretty sure that such a good starter as Martyr,
Yeah,
you're definitely going to utilize him
exactly.
for only 2 points,
Yeah.
right? Why we're taking Varudras though? Because Mike was reading his own card and ooh, that's a good start
Oh.
from Lutz side.
Yeah, there's the Surge. So essentially, as we were mentioning before, there's the general idea of the deck is just revealing Thunder monsters in your hand and then targeting cards, so like monsters, spell and traps and stuff to destroy your opponent's card. And then, of course, here there's the Varudra, so you get the protection effect. But overall, the Blitzclique strategy, I really feel like it has a lot of consistency, especially because you have a lot of them. And the good thing about the deck is that you can also get to summon any Thunder monster, which is great. That's why.
But we definitely needed to answer the effect of Surge with Varudras.
Yeah.
Because we cannot let such a strong effect to resolve. And right now we are following with the reveal of Grain, which lets us reveal this card in our hand and then target one spell trap on the field, destroy it. And if you do, special summon one Thunder monster from your hand.
And here they all have this effect, and meaning once they're up to the field, when a card gets destroyed, you also get an effect from the Blitzclique monster you have onto the field. And essentially here you get the Whisker, which is, we can say it is the bounce monster of the deck, which is super powerful. I really feel like in general this is one of these cards that you really want to have, and here, as mentioned, it comes onto the field and you can special summon up to 3 Thunder monster. That's what the deck does at its best, It's just pushes and puts a lot of pressure to your opponent and trying to seal the game as fast as possible.
And since you special summon from the hand, it is quite possible to go for damage in the same turn and win the game. And I'm pretty sure that this might be actual game, right? We have
so it's
3,000, 12.
so with the
for
field
both
spell,
green.
with the field spell as well, because the field spell lets you gain 500 attack and defense for to each monster. So they hide out in the sky. I think it should be quite it, right? Almost.
Yeah, because right now we are in 7,200, and with a field spell, it might be actual game.
Yeah, because the field spells boost all of them by 500 points. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that we have entered our battle phase right now.
What do you mean? So we've got like top 8 to top 4, and then top 4, top 2. Is it single leg or is it single leg? All single leg. Guys, do you know about these world qualifying points playoffs?
And I think that we have passed turn back to Mike because we cannot touch. We'll activate the field spell. No, it's Lutz's turn still.
because he might have been in battle phase.
No, it is main phase 2, I believe. And
No, it's battle phase. Yeah, yeah.
So we were explaining that
Yeah.
the Felfel provides the extra
boost, yes, exactly.
the extra attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's gonna deal quite of a few damage.
Yeah,
not
but
enough
it
to
is not
seal,
game,
but it's,
yeah.
not enough to seal the game. But it's quite a lot. So
Yeah, and I wonder that since we didn't manage to get the 8,000 points of damage, what are the second options for us in main phase 2 in order to establish a strong field?
yeah, that's the issue. Like in general with Blitzclique, you usually also want to get access to your trap cards. There's why the EMI, the EMI, it's very powerful, especially because when the card is added to your hand, and then of course it has the effect that it can searches a Blitzclique trap from the deck to the hand, and usually you get easy access to either the alternator or the return stroke, a card that is very powerful in the mirror match. But yeah, I mean, I really feel like overall this is quite of a good turn for Lutz. Now just gonna need and see if Mike somehow can come back into this one. 4,200 damage. But
Speaking of strong trap cards, we see 2 sets on the Lutz side, so it potentially can be any strong trap card or any card that can potentially be utilized.
well, also the main difference as we've seen lately in Genesis was also the back row removal, like playing Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters, evenly matched. It's all cards that have been played and are played, in the main deck and side deck. So it will be interesting to see effectively if and how they will be played from our duelists this weekend.
And I mean, when you start your turn with a Thunderclap, it's definitely going to provide some extra pressure, because it is one of those cards that with Sacred Beats you want to see, and obviously never it is alone, always has its friend with.
Always paired up with the field spell. That's the cool part about deck. Like I feel like they all come back at some point, you know? And that's the thing, with the Thunderclap, as mentioned during the main phase, you can place 2 other copies essentially from your hand deck or graveyard face up, and then if you do so, you can reveal 1 level 10 Sacred Beats monster in your hand, then place 1 full part of the Sacred Beats from your deck face up in the field zone. So essentially you get very easy access to it, to the field spell. I feel like in general the deck is consistent. It has a good matchup in the current format, but I mean overall, I feel like Blitzclique in the current metagame has an advantage, just because the deck to me seems way too good. And then, as mentioned, going second, you don't really have issues. That's the thing.
And let's be honest, another reason to play Sacred Beast is the nostalgia, right? Meaning, I'm pretty sure that if you had the chance to compete in this event, Alberto, you will also play Sacred Beast 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those decks that I will play, honestly. You just have all of them. You have the Raviel, then you have the Ammon, then you have the... you have all of them.
Imagine sealing game with one of your favorite cards, right?
It's something, you know, and that's the cool part, honestly. That I also feel like, thanks to Chaos Origins lately, we really get to see and think about our past, no? Because like in the TCG Advanced format, for example, I will be playing Lightning Darkness of the Ritual, you know? Like I will play the deck just because I remember about, Dark Magician of Chaos in the past, Black Luster Soldier, and in these new forms of the Ritual, I'll give them a shot, you know? So also here now with the Sacred Beasts, it's something that for sure I will be playing, you know, that I would like, yeah.
And as we spoke before, Martyr has been summoned, providing one of those stars that you want to see with the deck. However, it was immediately answered by the effect of Whisker,
Yeah.
which enables us, when a monster effect is activated, except in the hand, which is quite important, especially for the mirror match, you can return another Thunder monster. For example, we just returned the grain that he was summoned
Yeah.
before, and negate the activation.
And then gets to trigger also, you know, the surge and the grain, because as mentioned, these monsters not only they do have an effect to destroy something on your opponent's side of the field, but once they're on the field, if another card gets to be destroyed, then you can either search, you know, with surge a monster, and then with blades you can search, with grain, sorry, you can search a spell. So you have a lot of different ways to interrupt and play with your opponents. And then, of course, I think we just added the Blitzclique Breakaway, which is a card that I really like, just because you get to place one Blitzclique continuous drop from your deck face up on the field. And then the second effect is also really nice because you get to return one Thunder monster you control to the hand and then target one card on the field to destroy it. The deck is consistent. It's just I think it's just too good, and it can afford Shifter.
And Shifter is one of those cards that you really want to see, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's the key point of Genesis, if you ask me. The way to attend a Genesis event for me, it is, since the point system all the time changes and you have so many options, and every time that the point system is updated, you need to come up with a new strategy eventually, or to update your current strategy. I think the key point it is to find the most consistent one. To have a strategy that you will attend the event and say straightforward that I'm going to do that, this is my plan, and I'm here to execute it.
No, I mean, exactly. I mean, we have seen a lot of variety in the latest, formats, and I really feel like with Genesis, not only with the points, I think here Mike is conceding, but as mentioning, I really feel like there's been a huge change not only in the point system, but especially thanks to Chaos Origins, because Blitzclique will not be there if Chaos Origin, would have not been released. Essentially, it's one of those decks that essentially gave advantage, and I feel like has a lot of consistency, and it's overall. I mean, as you mentioned, you also have to play what you feel most comfortable with during an event, but 12 rounds of Swiss, it's a big event. This is a big event. And there's a lot at stakes. But I mean, talking about side decks choices, there's it depends on
I saw a very good card in Mike's side deck.
Yeah.
It was Darkhold, because obviously he's not going to side it going first, but it is one of those cards that I really want to talk about in the Genesis format, providing everything that you currently need, because due to the point system, the card negation, it's not very common and easily accessible. So I believe that cards like Darkhold, with required not a lot of points, can be utilized in order for the players to go second and try to provide any extra interactions with the established field of the opponent. So Lutz has presented his deck. He's waiting for Mike. And I'm quite curious how the Sacred Beast will try to go first and establish a strong field. For example, Varudras is definitely one of those cards that you want to summon. And maybe we are utilizing some going first cards from our side deck in the form of trap cards. So we are ready for the game 2, and nice fist bump, and right now I think that Mike is definitely going first. And I think that we have drawn some side deck options. For example, Cosmic Cyclone. It is one of those cards that you really want to bring against the Angelechy strategy.
And yeah, I mean, for those of you who have just tuned in, let's keep in mind also that there will be streaming alongside the Genesys Championship, the World Qualifying Point Playoff later on. And for Genesys, we will be playing, as mentioned, 8 rounds of Swiss, followed by, on Sunday, 4 other rounds of Swiss before the top cut. So now, entering into game 2, well, Sacred Beast player Mike will be start things off once again, and we will be saying if this time around, he will get the chance to showcase us a little bit more of the Sacred Beast combo by starting things off with the Thunderclap. And Thunderclap is going to be placing other 2 copies onto the field, and then the field spell, the Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast, is going to be activated.
Thunderclap is such a nice card, right? You just activate it and you get +1/+1/+1.
Yeah, essentially it's just free pluses, right? So it's just
And we will activate the field spell by sending the 3 copies of Thunderclap to the graveyard, and Uriah will be summoned on the field. Such a cool moment to summon Uriah, right? Imagine attending an event and summon Uriah.
It has to be something, honestly. Yeah? I would love to do that, to be fair.
This is Amon in the hand?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we will see also Uriah and Amon.
Because let's keep in mind that thanks to the effect of the Full Paradise of the Sacred Beasts, you can send 3 other cards of the same type from your hand or face up to the field to the graveyard. Then you can special summon 1 Sacred Beast monsters from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So essentially, just with 1 Thunderclap, you get onto the field 1 Sacred Beast monster.
So we have not special summoned yet Amon, but we have activated the effect in hand to reveal himself and add 1 Sacred Beast spell from the deck to the hand, and then later discard 1 card. So we search for Sacred Beast released, which enable us to add 3 Sacred Beast monsters with different names from the deck to the hand, then discard 2 cards. Later, if this card is in the graveyard, except that it was sent there, you can banish it, add 1 level 10 Pyro Thunder or Fiend, the Sacred Beast basically, monster that cannot be normal summon or set from the deck to the hand.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good overall.
It gives exactly what you want, right?
Yeah. And here, once again, the Martyr. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it really seems like this time around we will be seeing a little bit more of the Sacred Beast deck. It's, as mentioned, it's, deck is consistent for sure. The Thunderclap is the card you would like to see turn 1 along with the Martyr. And there's been no interruption so far from Lutz. But as you mentioned, it will also be nice to see if Lutz is playing any copy of Dark Hole. Because we mentioned this over the last events. Really feel like field breakers have been very powerful. So there's been Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone, Dark Hole, Evenly Matched. There's been a lot of these cards that have been played.
So the effect of Martyr has been activated since we already control a Sacred Beast monster to special summon 2 other copies of Martyr from hand, deck, graveyard, and enables for this field spell to reactivate it, since we can activate it 3 Ice per turn and special summon 1 Sacred Beast and we saw Raviel, the updated version, if I can say it, to be summoned on the field, and we are currently debating on which Exist monster to summon. Varudras obviously is one of those monsters that you definitely want to summon going first. And yes,
Yeah, I think it's going for Varudras.
I mean, we talked before about how important it is to find one card negation in the Genesis format, since it is quite difficult to access card negation due to the point system. And I believe that Varudras is definitely one of those choices. As we talked before, Cosmic Cyclone has been activated, and I think that we have also our own Cosmic Cyclone. Will we chain? Oh, no.
Is it? Okay.
It's supposed to be banished, though. I think that our judges will definitely catch it. It's not like MST. Yes, our judges just got it, and the Cosmic Cyclone has been banished.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this. These are the cards that have been played and are still played in the format just because they're way too good for, backward removals. But, yeah, again,
the same scenario, right?
The Surge is the same scenario. Like, Mike Sand was quite fine, I would say, just because let's keep in mind that the Fallen Paradox of the Sacred Beast can be activated thrice per turn. So essentially, the great thing about the deck is you get the chance to put up onto the field 3 Thunderclap and then 3 Martyr, and then essentially get to summon at least 2 Sacred Beasts in one turn. But then again, Lutz hand, Surge, and then Grain that comes onto the field. And now, as mentioned, essentially once a card gets destroyed and then you have a Blitzclique monster onto the field, you get to search something else. So now, given that the field spell gets destroyed, you get to search with Surge a monster from the deck and add it to the hand.
And to be quite fair, Blitzclique, it is one of those strategies that can afford to go second, right? They have very strong effects in the form of they are not only the monsters will be special summoned from the hand, but also they will trade with a card, for example, a monster distraction or a spell trap distraction. And Varudras has also the second effect that, not the second effect, the extended effect that you not only can negate the activation of a card, but also you can then destroy one card on the field. So eventually you want to let a little bit your opponent to play in order to fully utilize such an effect. However, since Lutz has activated the effect of search to destroy Varudras, you cannot afford to wait for another moment to activate Varudras and negate the search. So you just negate, search stays in hand, and you just can normal summon it. And I think we see Vados, right? So Vados has been summoned on the field, and it is such a quite option from Mike's side. So this is one card that saw some popularity in the Vanquish Soul format regarding the side deck option. So during the main phase, if this card is in the hand, quick effect, you can target one card in the field zone. Special summon this card to your opponent's field, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can add to your hand or set one ascended continuous trap from your deck. So what's the equivalent to that? You utilize this card in the side deck in order to interact with the field spells, which are quite popular not only in the TCG Advanced format but also in the Genesis format. And later, if this card is sent from opponent field to your graveyard, so if your opponent, for example, utilized it for a synchro, you can destroy all monsters on the field. So it is like a mini dark hole, if we can say that.
Yeah, I think it's better than a kaiju, because like the concept is like a kaiju, so summoning onto your opponent's field. But the good thing is you get to destroy a card, when your opponent essentially is just playing and combo through, which is great. So and here Lutz is using the field spell because the hideout essentially gets you like essentially you can special summon one token to your opponent's field, and then if you do, you can add one Blitzclique monsters from your deck to the hand. That is great because essentially you have also something that you can potentially destroy.
So the first copy of Hideout, I think we didn't wait for the effect of special summoning a token. We activated Varudras directly to the Vados directly to the activation of Hideout to destroy it. So we could reactivate another copy of Hideout and activate eventually the effect to bring a token on the field.
And this is the only card in the deck that if it gets added, except by drawing it, essentially you can reveal it and then carry one card to the field and destroy it, which is the Emmy, which is very nice, especially because it gets you search if needed the trap card. And here I think it's entering battle phase.
Yes, the token is quite big with 2000
yeah.
attack points and defense points. But as you have said before, Hideout also provides an extra attack gain for every monster on the field in Lutz's side.
I think this should not be. I think it's almost enough.
No, so we need. I think that we might. No, we were good because the Hideout provides the effect to boost the attack to normal or special summon monsters from the hand.
Yeah.
And we had activated the effect of search to special summon itself. However, Varudras was activated and then we normal summon, so it still gains the attack boost.
Oh yeah, it's almost enough. We said it, 100 life points.
I think right now the plan for Mike is just to find a way to send Vados in the graveyard for the second effect to activate it, that will provide the distraction of all monsters on the field.
And then let's keep in mind the Thunderclap during your opponent's end phase. If the card is in the graveyard, you can add it back to your hand. And same thing with the Martyr. So it's this is very nice because essentially you keep recycling. And then here I think it's going to use the Whisker on the Martyr, because let's keep in mind that Whisker can get activated on a monster's effect except in the hand. So you get to return one other Thunder monster you control to the hand to negate the activation and destroy the monster.
Very important to get all those resources back.
Yeah.
However, I don't know if we have a plan. For example, definitely the plan is to send Vados in the graveyard for the second effect to be activated, but also we have only 16 minutes left on the clock, and I think that we need to hurry up a little bit.
Yeah, very tense and close match for sure. Then that Mike is just left with 100 life points, so you really have to be very careful. But there's also 2 set cards from Lutz's side. Is there gonna be another Cosmic Cyclone? That's the question. Oh, okay. It's gonna do the job anyways. Is the breakaway. So essentially you can return one Thunder monster you control to the hand, then target one card on the field and destroy it. Yes.
It is one of those cards that really enable the Blitzclique strategy, bringing all these extra interaction and interruptions against any deck, and I think it is way Blitzclique has found its way to the current Genesis format, meaning that usually cards like that would have a lot of points if they didn't require some specific requirements. For example, to take back in the hand a Blitzclique monster. But since it is an archetype-specific card, you can utilize it without any point. I believe on the point system, it's free. Yeah. So it's definitely one of those decks that you really want to bring and utilize point system as better as you could.
No, exactly. Just because the The only points for the Blitzclique cards are Cracker and Surge, is just 4 points each, and yeah,
And
here's
the
the
handshake
handshake.
from the mic side.
So very, very well played by Lutz here in this first round future match. And I mean, we mentioned this, Blitzclique, I think it's the favorite to win the event. There's going to be for sure other interesting matches coming up our way, very different decks and variety. Sacred Beast is for sure one of the contenders that you know, has its chances, honestly, because we see some of the combos, unfortunately, Mike didn't really have, you know, all of the gas, you know, to put it through. On the other hand, we saw that going second with Blitzclique is no problem at all.
Yeah, because it has all those extra effects that they are not just effects that can provide the extra body, the extra special summon, and try to establish a very strong field with those trap cards, but also it has all those effects that enables you to destroy a monster, destroy a spell trap, and as we just experienced, the quick play that
The breakaway.
Yeah, the breakaway
exactly.
that provides such a very strong interaction. It feels like the deck it is designed to go second and first, and it feels very, very nice when you have you know, combined with Angelechy.
And we hope to get the chance to see more Blitzclique deck in action. So this was round 1 for our Genesis Championship. Thanks for watching, and don't go anywhere because we will be back soon with round 2 of the Genesis Championship live from Brussels. Keep watching.